Welcome to Criminal Minds Unleashed, where we don't just tell stories, we explore the truth behind them. Here, we dive deep into the moments that shape our world, uncovering the untold, the overlooked, and the stories that demand our attention. This is a space for understanding, for empathy, and for change. Because sometimes the stories we share can change the way we see the world, and maybe even the way we live in it. There's something profoundly beautiful about childhood. It's a time when the world is full of wonder, a time when play and imagination are the only limits. Children are the embodiment of innocence. They dream, they explore, and they create their own little universes. In those universes, they are superheroes, explorers, soldiers, completely free to be whoever they want. But what happens when that innocence collides with fear, misunderstanding, and deadly force? Today, I want to share the stories of children whose innocence was shattered by violence, children whose lives were tragically cut short. This is not just about individual stories. This is about a system, a society that sees threats where there should be hope. These children, like all children, had dreams, and their futures were full of possibilities. And now, we honor their memory. Tamir Rice. Our first story takes us to a chilly November afternoon in 2014, Cleveland, Ohio. In the heart of the city, snow falls gently, covering the ground in a quiet city park. It's peaceful. A young boy, just 12 years old, is at the center of it all, Tamir Rice. Alone in this world of winter, he plays with a toy gun pretending to be a soldier. Lost in his imagination, he's not hurting anyone, just being a child. But that day, Tamir's innocence would collide with fear. A car pulls up. Two police officers rush out. No time for questions, no time for understanding. They see the toy in his hand, but in their eyes it's a weapon. And in an instant, a heartbeat, shots are fired. The park, once filled with the sounds of play, falls silent. Tamir's small body lies still on the cold ground. His mother, who arrives moments later, is met not with her son's smile, but with the unimaginable sight of police tape surrounding her child. The toy gun that was once part of Tamir's innocent game now lies forgotten, next to a boy who will never get to play again. Toledo. Now let's move to the streets of Chicago. It's March 2021, and the night is heavy with tension. 13-year-old Toledo is running, his heart racing as police sirens scream behind him. Imagine that feeling. The cold air stinging his face, his footsteps pounding the pavement in a desperate attempt to escape. But where is he running to? And why should a child be so afraid? Adam stops, his small hands shaking as they rise into the air. In that brief moment, everything is still, almost as if time itself is holding its breath. But that calm is shattered. A gunshot. Adam crumples to the ground, another child caught in the crossfire of fear and power. In the days that follow, the city erupts. Protesters take to the streets, chanting Adam's name. A young boy with so much life left to live, now a symbol of a system that so quickly sees children like him as threats, rather than the innocent souls they are. Ayana Stanley Jones. Detroit, Michigan. It's 2010, and 7-year-old Ayana Stanley Jones is fast asleep on the couch in her modest home. Picture the scene. A little girl wrapped in a warm blanket, with her grandmother sitting nearby, keeping a quiet watch over her as the house sleeps peacefully. But that peace is violently shattered. In the dead of night, flash grenades explode, and police officers storm the house. In the chaos, panic sets in, and in the blink of an eye, a gunshot rings out. When the smoke clears, little Aiyana is still on the couch, but she's no longer dreaming. Her life, her future, stolen in an instant. Her grandmother's cries fill the home, the sounds of grief echoing into the night. Aiyana's death sparked outrage in Detroit. People gathered at vigils, they lit candles, and they held hands in solidarity. But no courtroom could bring her back. No conviction would ever give her family peace. And so, another innocent life was extinguished by the very people sworn to protect. Antoine Rose II. In East Pittsburgh, it's a warm June evening in 2018, and 17-year-old Antoine Rose II is in the passenger seat of a car. The car is pulled over by police, suspected of being involved in a shooting. Antwon knows that things could go terribly wrong, so without thinking he runs. His legs pump hard, his chest heaves, his mind racing. He's not running because he's guilty. He's running because he's scared. But fear catches up with him in the form of a gunshot. Antwon falls to the ground unarmed, his dreams bleeding into the pavement. His family, his friends, the community, they are left to pick up the pieces. They gather, holding up his graduation photo, a young man with hopes, dreams, and a future. But those dreams ended on that quiet street, with no weapon in his hands, only the hope that running might save him. Andy Lopez. And now we find ourselves in Santa Rosa, California. It's 2013, and 13-year-old Andy Lopez is walking down the street, his toy gun slung over his shoulder. To him, it's just a harmless toy, something that fuels his imagination, just like any other child. But to the police officer driving by, that toy gun becomes something far more dangerous. The officer calls out to Andy, tells him to drop the gun. Confused, Andy hesitates, unsure of what's happening. And in that confusion, gunfire erupts. Andy's body falls to the ground, the toy gun slipping from his hand. Now just another piece of evidence at the scene. In the days that follow, the community is overcome with sorrow. They gather to remember him, holding toy guns at his memorial, symbols of innocence shattered by misunderstanding. And again, the question hangs heavy in the air. How could a child with a toy be seen as a threat? They were children. They had dreams. They should have had futures. But what will it take for this to never happen again? How many more names will we have to say? How many more lives will we mourn before the world wakes up to the tragic reality that we've created? Each of these children, Tamir, Adam, Aiyana, Antwon, Andy, deserved so much more. They deserved to grow up, to live, to dream. But their stories, their tragic stories, are reminders of a world that still sees danger where it should see innocence. And so we remember them, we say their names, we tell their stories, and we call for justice. For all the children who never got to live out their dreams. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to keep up with all my latest content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Join our community, and let's explore together. See you in the next video.